we are going to be defying gravity. Welcome back to CBC2. And what better place to start than the starter solenoid, which, if I'm not very much mistaken, looks pretty damn new to me. So that's encouraging. The other thing is it's got this kind of cradle on it, which I've not seen before. So here's your main 30 amp fuse, and this will be all the positives that come off that main solenoid. So that's kind of cool, rather than having a load of kind of O-ring type fittings all bolted onto the posi, which is this one. So yeah, and then I think, as we've already identified, there's a plug. I think it's not that one. Yeah, I think it's that one. That then takes that power. We'll have to check on the wiring diagram, but I think that's what happens. But before we do that, we have this lovely and very expensive anti-gravity battery, which is really nice. And the kid had welded up that little frame for it to sit in, leaving this customary V empty, which means obviously we've got nowhere to put all this stuff once we wire it up, because normally there would be a battery cradle that sits in that V, covered up by body panels, etc., and it would all kind of hang off that, like it has in some of the previous projects, like the Kawasaki, for example. So what we need to do is work out where the hell we're going to put all this stuff, and there ain't a lot of space. I mean, we could extend that battery and put a tray all the way along underneath, but that would kind of ruin the V, right? As you're probably aware already, we have very little space. The seat pan sits on the frame flush with all this. So again, we've only got, you know, the depth of the frame here, and not much space. There's a little bit of space there under the tank, I suppose. That could work. Like there. Time to ponder the Honda. And just to refresh your memory, when I say all this stuff, it's all that stuff, plus all the wiring and the connections and maybe fuses. That's another area. Fuses are way up here. Yeah. Honda, at this period at least, started kind of mounting them up here around the front. Nice and easy to get to, I guess, but a lot of extra wiring. So I don't know if we're going to move them. I think we are. Well, we're definitely not going to have them here. We're going to move them somewhere, and obviously you want them to be relatively easily accessible. I think for now, I want to see how that translates inside here. Well, there it is. I think that will translate pretty well to one of these type fuse boxes that we put on the Kawasaki, which I don't know actually if it still works on the Kawasaki, although by this time I probably will have resolved it in the video series. If you haven't watched that one, please do. So there they all are, and it's just a question of tracing them. And then there's these. I don't even know what these are. I labelled them Thing 1 and Thing 2. Because I don't know what they are. I think I labelled them on the wiring diagram too. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I better check whether the wires add up. And there's another one there. Yeah. So I don't know what they are. But right now, I'd rather explore where we're going to put all this stuff. There's another possibility, and that's down here. Got this kind of void, which is concealed by the frame, and possibly everything could fit in there. Make up some kind of little box thing for it all to fit in, maybe. Throw it in a box. Bit like that, except obviously not made out of cardboard. Trouble is that baby needs kind of airflow, hence the fins, because it gets kind of warm. And I think it needs cleaning up and painting as well, don't you? Orange. So it's over to the cosmetic department with Q-tips and toothbrushes. Yes. Okay, well, I worked this much out that the regulator is going to sit here. Regulator Rectifier is a combined unit. It's going to sit here on the bottom of the seat pan, right? So it's going to be, it's about the same thickness as the frame itself, right? So that'll be nice and hidden, but at the same time it'll get some decent airflow for cooling purposes. So that's that bit sorted. And probably our friends thing 1 and thing 2 can sit either side of it. So that's those sorted. So actually all we've got to do is find a mounting point for the starter solenoid, which, I don't know. There's a hole there. We can mount it on that. Anyway, that's hanging up to dry for a quick squirt of orange paint. Maybe two-tone. Not that anyone's ever going to see it again. I'm thinking something like that. That'll work. Or something like that. One of the two. Sure, we can work it out. Good. That's that sorted. No seat pan required. I mean, under tray, seat tray thing. I rather like that layout, so I think I'm going to go with that. Now, how do you mark that, eh? Well, you get a paintbrush with a little bit of white on, and you drop it all the way through there, and you drop it all the way through there, and then while you got it out, you do that, and you do that. Double check. Did that work? Yeah. How about that? And that means time for some of our favourite fixings. And I'm not going to demonstrate this again. If you need to see how these work, you'll have to check out some previous episodes. But anyway, pop rivet things. And they don't need to be too substantial, so I think we'll use some of these little boys. They're probably M5s. What are those? There you go, M5s. We could probably get away with an M4, but there you go. All right, so we're basically going to drill a hole just big enough to pop that through. And for an M5, I find 5/16 does it lovely. Yeah, probably just a little bit too big, actually. A quarter's too small. And there you have it, 4 pre-drilled holes. M5s, lovely. Thing 1, thing 2 mounted. Thing 3. Yeah, rectifier, regulator, to be painted. Much better. Well, that all fits there, but does it fit when we put the seat on? Yes, remember the bigger picture. And of course, I only had one suitably long M5 bolt. Yes, should have checked that out, shouldn't we? Got a load of M6 bolts. Well, the good news is that it all just fits, just, as you can see. It's a close call. Well, everything's nicely positioned, except it's kind of back to front. I guess I got confused with front and back. So, got to drill some more holes and turn thing 1 and thing 2 round the other way, so that these cables here come out towards the front of the bike. The connectors are there, in there somewhere. Anyway, and then we'll tuck them up under there somehow, because otherwise they'll be in our nice V, won't they? Our empty V, which doesn't look MTV at all. And while I'm flipping those two round, I'm considering flipping this through 90 degrees so that this comes out forwards as well. Although it's not a major issue. So it's 62 mil, and it would fit in that gap. So I might try that. It's going to be tight. I think what I'll do is try that first, because if that works, then these can also change position to some degree. I don't know if it's going to work or not. More bloody holes. Lovely, fully aerated seat. I haven't buttoned them down yet, but this time around I used a different drill bit. So I used the good drills, yes, the quality drills, to drill it out to a quarter, which was not quite big enough. And then I found in my array of crappy drills that the 9/32 drill bit, which is just right for a 5mm rivet. I do hope that's useful information for someone out there. Perfect snug fit under there, and now we have all our connectors coming forward and in an accessible place, and we've still got the wiring for the back light here going under the seat and coming out close enough. It's somewhere down there. There it is, and obviously we're gonna have to connect that up to that anyway, so we've got to do some rewiring. Which brings us neatly to this little mess here. These taped up shit, yeah. I think I want to investigate that further, not least of all because there's kind of a joining loop which gets in the way of one wire, just one, that goes to the back light. So I want to free this up anyway and get it with those over there. And see what the hell's going on here. Interesting first stage of unwrapping. There's two wires that go absolutely bloody nowhere, and possibly the same. Well, no, those two go somewhere. So thing one or thing two, what is it? Thing one, yes, thing one seems to be doing very little in that respect. Or no, that goes to this. That's going to the rectifier. That's not good. I don't know. Let's uncover some more. So I think I'm going to build a little tray, or just a little lip, honestly, for this stuff to feed up over, and this stuff all to sit in once it's connected. Yeah, right here. Meantime, I'm going to work out where the blue and yellow wiring goes, because it's on there, right? But it's not anywhere to be found here. But it is to be found here. But for the sake of your sanity, as opposed to mine, I will not be filming that. And so endeth the episode. I have lots of episodes. You need to watch them. So, yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere. And if you thought the video was any good, vaguely educational, or otherwise, give it a thumbs up. Yes, madness abounds on this channel, so tune in again and check out the rest of the stuff. And, of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.